Now, before adding more test cases and validation to our project, we can now look at some reporting part, as in by default reports from TestNG. We have already seen that one of the interactive report is the extend report, right? So it shows something like this. It's a single page report, right? If we want to see something more interactive, we can go for the ReportNG report, right? For ReportNG, there are two dependencies that are required. One is the ReportNG dependency. So this is what you should be needing. So you can just copy it and paste it directly to your form XML. And one is required that is called as juice. So this is Google Juice. So this is these two are these are the two dependencies that you need to include in your project in your form.xml file. Like I have already added this. This is Google Juice and this is ReportNG. So these two dependencies are required like whenever you want to generate a ReportNG report, right? So now, how ReportNG will gonna work? Once we add these dependencies, right? There is a class which actually gets invoked through the listeners, right? So you need to go inside your testng XML file, right? And you need to add those listeners over here. So this is the only step you need to do in order to generate ReportNG reports. So listeners will go like this. So you need to add a listener that is something like this. These are your ReportNG listeners. So just copy it and paste this thing over here in your testng XML file, right? This is HTML reporter. This is the listener class, right? And the JUnit XML reporter. This will gonna generate a HTML report, and this will gonna generate a XML report. So what we can do, if now I right click on testng XML, say run as testng suite. So both the tests got successfully executed, and if I refresh this project now, we're gonna see inside our test output folder, we're gonna see a HTML report, HTML folder generated over here. If I open this, there's an index.html file. If you say Alt Enter and copy the path of this report and paste it over here, you're going to see a report something like this, a more neat and clean report, right? So this is generated by TestNG with ReportNG. It gives the current date, time, and even it shows how many test cases passed, how many are skipped, failed, what is the pass percentage, the duration of test cases. You can go to the individual test case and see what is actually executed, right? So this is a neat and clean report that you can generate. Right, and this is one of the report that you can customize as well. Customization in the sense, like if you want to add some more messages to the report, if you want to, if let's say if there is a failure, you want to add your own custom messages to the failure. So that those things you can actually do with this report, right? So how we gonna add messages to the report? So something like if I go to this test, there's a class called as a reporter, right? If you go to bank manager login test, if you want to add your own message over here, so like we are saying log.debug login successfully executed. So instead of log.debug, if I say reporter dot log, and if I add the same message over here, so what will happen if I run this testng XML again? And if I go back to the report, if I click on this test, you're going to see my message is added over here. Login successfully executed. Right? Same thing we can do with the failures as well. If you want a message to be added to your failure, you can do that thing as well. If in case you want to customize it more, if you want to see a screenshot as well added over here, so you can do that thing as well. So you can add screenshots, you can add HTML view over here, right? You can like add a link over here, click on the link, and a new screenshot should get open. So these are the things that you can actually customize in this report. So let's see how we can embed a screenshot over here. So what I'll do, I'll go to this test, and like after this, I'll gonna add a report.log, and I'll gonna generate a link over here. A link should be something like an anchor tag, anchor href equal to this, and I'll say screenshot, right? And the anchor tag close, right? So what I'm gonna do over here is if I write some path over here, let's say abc.jpg, any image that you want to show. Let's say I take up some images from my F drive screenshot folder, right? Let's say this is one error.jpg. We're gonna see how to capture screenshots as well, right? But by the time I'm taking this screenshot, this is JPG file. So I'll just gonna copy this path and paste it over here. And I'll say error.jpg, right? So if we are actually giving the path, we need to give it in double backslash. And the other thing, we are adding double quotes within the double quotes. So we need to follow escape sequence. So I need to say something like this, right? And let's run this and see if any link is generated or not. If I right click, run as testng suite, and if we refresh this, we'll go over here. Okay, the link is not generated, right? And if we look at the other report, that is inside test output emailable report. If you look at this report, oh, we can see the link over here. See screenshot. If you click on this, see the screenshot is there. So this report is showing a link, but this is giving us a HTML view. This is because in order to see any HTML view, like in order to convert this thing into HTML, this is right now showing it as a plain text. In order to see a HTML view, you need to add a flag over here wherever you are actually adding the HTML code. So initially you can mention system dot let's say set property, and a flag that says org. It should be set property, not properties. Org dot uncommons. So this is a package from ReportNG itself, and say dot escape output to false. Right, this is what you need to give actually. So if you add this statement, and if you run the code again, if I'll again go to testng XML, I'll say run as testng suite. And if we again look at this report, we're going to see a link over here. See screenshot. If you click on this link, the screenshot will be open. But see, the screenshot is opening up on the same page, right? I want it to be open up in a different page, right? In a separate page, or in a separate tab, right? So that is the HTML code. So what you can do, you can write some HTML code that says target equal to underscore blank, right? And follow the escape sequence. So this will actually going to open up in a new link, a new tab basically. And if you again look at this, refresh, now click on screenshot, see it opened up in a new page, right? So this is how you can customize it. You can create links, you can add your own HTML to this report. Even if you want to see a small thumbnail over here, right, you can do that thing as well. See how it is done. So what I'm gonna do, I'll copy this thing, and I'll first add a break statement over here. That is it. It will gonna add a new line, right? And then instead of giving screenshot text, I can add an image over here. So image src equal to, and I'm gonna give the image path over here. And image path should go like this. We'll take this image itself, error.jpg, right? So what happens if I right click, say run as test.ng suite, and if I go back over here and refresh this, click on this, okay, the image size is very big, right? So instead of the entire like the complete view of this image, I can specify some height equal to 200, width equal to 200, right? And let's run this again. And let's look at the results again. Okay, it's not showing anything. Uh, Probably by mistake. Okay. There's a mistake. There should be over here like this, right? Because this is src, and height and width should be inside image, right? So let's run this again. And if you again refresh this, you're going to see a small thumbnail over here. If you click on this thumbnail, will open up in a new report, right? Right, so these sort of customization we can easily do with the help of these reports, right? Even in your test.ng XML emailable report, you're gonna see a thumbnail over here as well, right? So you can customize these reports, but generally we don't add screenshots to the past test case, right? We prefer adding it to the failed test case itself, right? So whenever a test is failed, there should be a screenshot that should get captured, right? Now let's say if you want to add this thing to a failed test case, if a test case is failed, it should automatically capture a screenshot. So how are you going to implement that? So for that, we will be looking at something called as listeners, right? So we'll be implementing test ng listeners. So one of the listeners that would say that will actually going to work on failure. So whenever a test case is failed, it should automatically execute the piece of code that we're going to write, and in that code we're going to write the code for capturing the screenshot and for attaching the screenshot as well, right?